Hi and welcome. I'm Angela Ambrosia. So this series on shame-free love is one that's very close to my heart and mind. And we're going to look at over 5 episodes of shame-free love, what love can be like when you actually begin to truly look inside. What is it that's stopping you from claiming all that you are? Whether you are single, whether you are in a relationship, whether you're someone struggling with taking care of a loved one, and you're in a situation where you feel blocked or obligated or trapped. Shame-free love is about being free of shame on all levels of being. So the levels are the physical level, your body, the emotional level, the mind level, the mental level of your thoughts, those thoughts that we want to be free of, and on the spiritual level of being, truly looking at the soul and what your soul came in to finish or complete or even just celebrate this lifetime. So I'm going to be talking about, in Shame-Free Love, about clearing all levels of being, and today we're just looking at the overall big picture of what shame-free love can look like, and specifically at soul contracts. So for those of you who don't have any belief about the soul, that's fine. Just have a listen and see what might work for you and resonate for you, because particularly at this period of our culture, a lot of relationships are simply not staying together. A lot of people are experiencing dating that doesn't work. You're meeting people who aren't right for you. You try the relationship. It's very disheartening. Some parts are good, some parts are bad, and some parts you just don't know why they can't work. The only way to make sense of why so many of us are experiencing suffering in relationships, or relationships that come together and break apart, is to look at it from the bigger point of view, the world view, and go to the soul. So that's how I make sense of it, and it's worked immensely well for me, because it means that ultimately I had to let go of any constructs, concepts of relationship and what I think it should be, and especially anything that my family or culture told me that relationships should be. We all want to love. We all want to be in love, and at some point we sacrifice concepts of being in love, and we actually go into more aspects of mature love or growing up when you're in a relationship and learning how to resolve conflict, go beyond conflict. However, there's another element of sacrifice that this time in our culture we're really beginning to question. Do you actually have to sacrifice your life in order to be with someone? Do you have to sacrifice your needs in order to keep a marriage together? Do you sacrifice your needs in order to look after your children's needs? And yes, the simple answer when there's kids involved, yes, we do sacrifice our needs as parents and our needs as members of the community in order to foster the life of children. And you may actually make a relationship work to help the needs of the children. But our culture is really coming in and saying you can stay in the relationship, but you don't actually have to sacrifice as much as we used to. So I'm not saying that it's a blank slate, you're free if you're in a relationship with kids and you don't have to sacrifice your needs anymore. But we are looking at alternative models of relationship that allow your needs to be met and also your children's needs as well. Now, if you're single or if you're in relationships and you're looking to experience what being shame-free becomes like, sacrifice is the best topic in your relationship, or the best area to look at in your relationship. Anytime you feel like you're sacrificing your needs, there's some area of your soul contract and also of your physical needs, your emotional needs, or your mental concepts or beliefs that is somewhere being literally purified and washed out through your relationship. So sacrifice at any level, spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, whatever level, is always going to be coming up these days, because we're looking from the bigger picture. What are we actually in this relationship for? And what are we actually here to experience in ourselves? So love is not a bed of roses, as they say. It can be, and it is. That's an element of love. But love is also really coming in to see, what am I here to experience about myself? So a relationship is meant to bring up any areas that you may feel is out of alignment with being more of who you are. So sacrifice is a huge thing that we're processing right now in our culture. Do we need to sacrifice our needs for our governments to continue spending that money that they're continuing? Do we need to sacrifice our needs for the sake of other people so that they can benefit? It's a very big topic politically, and I'm not addressing the politics, I'm addressing the soul in love relationships. So in particular, close to my heart, I happen to have the opportunity in my life to be a carer for my parents, who had cancer and died over a period of time and were sick over a period of time. Thank God, not too long a time for their sake. But it did show me that at some point you do need to say, I am choosing to be a carer for someone. It has been shown for carers, specifically long-term carers of the terminally ill, of children who are disabled, of children who have special needs. These carers actually shorten their lifespan because of the stress involved with care. So there is a definite choice at the soul level for those of you who have chosen to be in a love relationship, a family love relationship, or a partner love relationship, where you have someone that you've chosen to step in and support. The difference becomes, in this time now, how do you bring balance to that? There's so much pressure in our culture now and stress that we're beginning to question, does it have to be that stressful? Do I have to completely sacrifice, or do I need to get support from my larger community? And because our modern industrial societies have destroyed community that used to be part of tribal culture, where if you had someone who had needed care, you would have a tribe to look after them, we're really having to question, I don't have to sacrifice myself, but I need more support. I need to bring in more support for my needs as a carer. And this is essential if you're in a situation where you and your life are being compromised. If you're a single mother and you don't have that support of your community, it's crazy these days to keep pushing and pushing and pushing yourself like that. So if we come into love relationships and we are bringing the same question, why am I sacrificing my needs to be with this person? It puts a lot of pressure on the relationship to go up a notch, to actually look not at how you can perform better, because it's not about demanding, but it's actually asking, why are we both here in this relationship? And some of those questions will take time. They're not, something that you can answer from the mental part of ourselves. We need to go down into the heart. We need to look at that soul contract that you came to commit to first yourself, but also whenever you step into a love relationship, there is some level of an agreement there. It might not be a big contract. It might not be a heavy karmic one. I've had both relationships that were so-called karmic and intense and like, why am I with this person? And I've had relationships where I begin to go deeper into myself, which were an agreement with the other partner, so I could actually know myself better, and that partner served me to know myself better in a kind way, in a fun way, and a loving way. So I celebrate those relationships because they made me see that those karmic ones were also so I could learn in different ways about myself. So first off, your soul contract is to you, to what you came to explore in love relationships. And this is what is probably the most conflicting element right now, because a lot of us are now becoming more selfish or focusing on ourselves. Some of us are choosing to be single to do that, and some people think that's a bad thing. But whenever you have an experience of being single, it's actually a gift by your soul to truly, truly work on celebrating the aspects of yourself, to understand finally why you needed to be single, dealing with loneliness, dealing with the fears of perhaps being alone in your older years, dealing with separation from community when community is right there for you to step into, but you may have built a bridge that you think you can't cross, or you've burnt your bridges, as some of us have done with certain groups in our lives for reasons, and soul-determined reasons as well sometimes. So there's a big onus in my work to look at the soul and why it's chosen certain pathways in your life. The soul will never judge any choices that you've made. The personality spends most of its life judging those choices. And that's what's very hard when I do coaching, is dealing with the judgments that the personality, the mind, the emotions has made about life choices. Unfortunately, the personality has a lot of small-mindedness, and the job of the heart and the spiritual self is to open up the acceptance for that small-mindedness. It's just the way that the personality works. It's like a little kid. It wants to make everything perfect, and when it's not, it gets hurt. It's also wanting to understand why, and the only way that in my own experience and my work has made any sense for people is to go to the soul, which actually starts to see what are those lessons of love I came to experience, especially from hurtful relationships. They don't make sense. Why do you have to even lose someone that you love dearly? It doesn't make sense. But at the soul level, there's always a purpose for loss, and there's a purpose for being separated from those we love. There's always a reason that you have that experience, and it's unavoidable for all of us. Death is unavoidable when you're alive. So at the soul spiritual level, it's a very interesting and safe way to begin to explore any hurts or feelings about loss and separation. The biggest separation is what we all experience, is a separation from ourselves. We always lose that deep bond with ourselves when we start downing ourselves with our mind or our personality or our judgments and fears. And this is a very painful experience. So the end of sacrifice, and what I'm talking about in these 5 episodes of shame-free love, is to finally, once and for all, heal, not remove, but heal any shame that we have in our bodies, in our soul, and in our consciousness. Because the shame of maybe making bad choices in this life, other lives, if you go there, the shame that we haven't lived up to our soul and its greatness lives within us. And then it infects and affects every single love relationship, parent-child, sister-brother, mother-father, lover to lover, parent to parent of a child. And to really change that cycle, we need to go into our own relationship to any shame that we have about any judgments or choices that we've carried with us, and looking at them from a place of small-mindedness and harboring shame. So shame is one of those emotions that is very annoying for me as a coach, because it penetrates your cells. It's in our bodies, it's in our nervous system, our emotional brain, which is directly connected to our belly organs and our whole nervous system. And shame permeates our DNA. It's historically embedded within our culture, which is frightening if we can't move beyond it. But I'm telling you, I'm asking you, and I'm declaring it's more than possible. And the whole purpose and focus of these 5 episodes is to build that bridge of having shame-free love in our very beings, our bodies, and our cells, and also for your soul contract today to really start to become clear to you. If you've had disruptive relationships, if you've had heartache in relationships, I honor you, because you're doing the work of your soul to truly become free, 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 free. and being free of shame, you'll actually perpetuate that cycle in a big way. Shame is so much in our culture and conditioning and part of our very way of thinking about love that we find it hard to be hopeful about love. Shame-free love is not just hopeful about love, it knows love is possible in any millisecond, in any breath, in any look that you might have with a stranger or with someone that you love, even if they've hurt you. That's shame-free love, because even if someone who you love dies, hurts you, betrays you, lies to you, cheats on you, even in that, shame-free love is saying, I'm hurt, or I'm feeling what I'm feeling, or I'm feeling I'm losing something, and I'm able to experience it. I'm not judging it. I'm not pushing it away. And I'm not trying to make it something it's not. Shame-free love is actually beginning to really reignite for you and for everyone that you experience in your love relationships, a place that when you go there, it's permanent. It doesn't change one day when you're not feeling so good because of some compulsive behavior that comes in and says, I don't want to be nice to you today, or I don't feel like being happy today, or I don't feel like getting over my stuff. Shame-free love starts to create a place here inside of you, inside of our hearts, to begin to accept difficult feelings and say, I'm not feeling good about it, but I'm not going to start expecting somebody else to fill up the hole or to take this away from me. I'm just experiencing a difficult moment, and I'm going to be able to ask for that support, that community, or that person, individual, to be able to just witness or hold a space of love and acceptance for me if I can't do it myself. So here on these videos we do a meditation, and that's what we're going to do at the end of every video, and we're really calling in today that soul contract. So for those of you who are interested in doing the meditation, you can begin by noticing your body and where you're seated right now. So if you're in a chair, bring your awareness to your pelvis, your tail, your sacrum, your sitting bones, and breathe into the lower parts of the body. So if your feet are on the ground, you can feel the energy going right down into the center of the earth, and then ask for that lower body to really anchor and be a base for this new relationship to yourself that you're calling in, where you're shame-free. We're going to be heading south in this series to work on the lower parts of our bodies, which carry a lot of the older parts of shame in our DNA. We're starting with the soul, and we're working south. So today we're just honoring that pelvis that does so much work for us, and the feet that anchor us to the earth. And we're celebrating that part of us by just feeling gently into the lower parts of the body with your breath and your awareness. So closing the eyes, bring your attention to that lower body and notice your feet and your pelvis are actually support systems for the heart center itself. So the heart center in the center of your chest balances on top of the center of that space between your feet, and it balances on top of the pelvis, the two sitting bones, that sacrum bone. So as you breathe into the chest, you expand the wings, the front part of the body, and the back of your chest. And then as you relax and exhale, you're sinking that chest center into the belly organs. So take some breaths to really relax your belly organs and breathe into the chest. As you exhale, feel the belly organs really relaxing, that heart center dropping into the belly organs, which then drop even deeper into the sacrum. So it's like a breath of air is coming to fill up the chest from the back. And as you exhale, you're dropping the heart into the tail. For a moment, we're just going to also connect the heart to that space between the feet. So have your feet about hip width apart and you're breathing into the chest. And as you exhale, you're dropping that heart energetically down between the feet. And this time, as you breathe into the heart, we're going to exhale and imagine you're dropping the heart all the way down through a line to the center of the earth, or the heart of earth itself. So now with every inhale, you breathe in from the center of earth. And with every exhale, you drop and relax into the center of earth. So this time now you're going to breathe into that heart center, and you're going to fully expand the width of the collarbones and the chest. So you can exhale and relax and keep on inhaling. With every inhale, expand into the width of the heart center and the collarbones, expanding the side ribs. So don't force the breath, allow the breath to feel energetically like you're proud and expanding into this shame-free love. No matter what you're experiencing, your soul is always ready to expand. We're just asking for shame-free love to come into the body and for you to experience the expansion of it no matter what you're experiencing in your relationships. And now in the center of the chest, see a golden ball of energy. And with each inhale, you see that golden ball expanding. And as it exhales, you see the light radiating from your heart center. So you see the golden ball expand all the way to fill up your aura. And with every exhale, that golden light expands and radiates out. This time with your inhale, you feel the golden energy. And you ask to connect to your soul. And you feel the heart center as you connect to your soul. So feeling the golden light, you can now ask the light to support you and help you see your contract with yourself and your soul. And with any relationship that you're wanting to know more about now, we're just going to ask, what is that relationship revealing to you about your soul contract with yourself? What is that relationship revealing to you about your soul contract with yourself? You can simply feel the person. You can feel whatever obstacles or challenges or joys you might be experiencing with them. And you can feel perhaps the contrast between feeling great joy, love, connection, and also the other extreme of that disconnection. Lack of understanding, inability to move forward together. What is that relationship revealing to you about your soul contract with yourself. So breathe into the center of your heart and just see anything that you can about the nature of your relationship with your soul. If you don't see, then ask to simply feel that connection. And if there are any feelings or thoughts, judgments, fears, anything, simply ask to see, what do I need to see? What do I need to see now? Once again, bring your awareness to the golden ball in the center of the heart and allow that light to just fill you and expand into that love that you desire. Whether it be a love where you are free, a love where you are heard, a love where you are just allowed to be exactly all of what you are. Even if you don't know what you are. And as you feel or connect or contemplate this connection to your soul, ask yourself, what are you committing to in this relationship with your soul? What are you committing to now, moving forward in this relationship with your soul? So if you have a feeling or a word or an energy that you wish to commit to now, just take note of that energy or commitment or word and breathe it into your heart center. If you wish to actually activate this commitment in your real everyday life, you can take a moment to anchor the energy. But if you are unsure, just leave it at the heart center. So you can begin to commit to feeling it at the heart before you anchor it into your everyday life. Allow yourself to have freedom so that your heart will know when to either anchor the energy in the real everyday life experience or simply just hold it at the heart center so you can experience the energy more fully in the heart. So now with the breath, breathe the energy all the way from above your head, down the body and down the legs and into the feet and the earth below you. Bring yourself back to the physical body. And when you are ready, opening your eyes and write down the energy that you're committing to. This energy is a connection to your soul, whatever came to you. And it's important to write these things down so we can come back to them over the next couple of episodes and look at that commitment or the energy that you wish to connect with as you build that connection to your soul. Thank you. I'm Angela Ambrosia, and have a blessed week. And I welcome shame-free love as part of what we're anchoring in the energetic body. But it's more important for you to be clear with your soul what's important for it now. So that's why I'm not anchoring that in your heart. It's up to you what to call in, and as well as to check in with your soul what it is that it needs to connect with more deeply in your relationship to it. Thank you and bless you.